This most spectacular of multi-witness encounters occurred at a clapboard farmhouse in isolated Kelly, Kentucky, 7 miles from Hopkinsville, on the nights of August 21st and 22nd, 1955. The 11 witnesses, including 7 adults, were members of the related Sutton and Lankford families and their friends, the Taylors. While fetching some water at 7 p.m., Billy Ray Taylor was astonished to see a shining aerial object which emitted an exhaust all the colors of the rainbow. But when he had told the others it had come down in a nearby gully, they said, "Just a falling star, Billy Ray," and no one bothered to investigate. The dog went berserk an hour later, barking furiously at the darkness, before fleeing in terror from the approach of a strange glow. It was coming from the gully, and it was caused by a goblin, roughly 3 feet tall. The goblin approached boundlessly, with hands held high, either in menace or surrender. Billy Ray Taylor and Elmer Sutton responded with automatic xenophobia. Apparently hit, the freakish creature flipped backwards and scurried off on all fours as the 2 men retreated into the farmhouse. Shortly thereafter, when the same creature, or another one just like it, approached to the window, a shotgun blast through the screen blew it back into the night. Almost immediately, there was a sound from above, and when the men rushed back outside, a taloned hand reached down, as if to feel Billy Ray Taylor's hair. Billy Ray and Elmer swiftly blasted the thing right off the roof, and later swore that it slowly floated to a fence 40 feet away, and only when the goblin was shot off the fence did it finally flee. Another creature spotted on the limb of a maple tree was also subjected to the prime directive of shoot first, ask questions later. Having seen more than enough, the 2 men retreated inside, bolting the doors for what would prove to be a nerve-wracking siege. Even as the occasional glowing goblin roamed around out in the dark, 50-year-old Glennie Lankford counseled an end to the shooting. "They haven't tried to hurt us, so maybe they're only being friendly," she said. But as the surreal siege wore on, the children became increasingly hysterical. The breaking point came at 11 p.m. when the house full of humans made a daring dash for the cars and hauled down to the Hopkinsville police station 7 miles away. There, a medically trained investigator determined that Billy Ray Taylor's pulse rate was twice normal. Chief of Police Russell Greenwell later stated these people were not the sort of people who normally ran to the police. Something frightened them, something beyond their comprehension. When Greenwell and 5 other police officers accompanied the 11 witnesses on the dark road back to the farm, 2 streaks of light shot overhead with the sound of artillery fire. Although bullet holes and spent casings were abundant at the site, the police found no evidence of a flying saucer, nor were shotgun-splattered goblins strewn all over the property. They did find a strangely glowing patch of ground, however, right where one of the goblins had allegedly tumbled. Chief Greenwell later stated, "In and around the whole area, there was a weird feeling. Everyone had it. These were brave men I've been in dangerous situations with. They felt it too." Researcher Jenny Randles calls this the Oz factor, repeatedly associated with UFO and paranormal events. Hampered by darkness, the police left at 2 a.m., but the night was still young. At 2:30 a.m., before Glennie Lankford could fall asleep, a persistent glow alerted her to a goblin outside her bedroom window. She called out softly to the others, and again implored for peace when Elmer Sutton rushed in with his shotgun, and a nightmarish siege resumed throughout the remainder of the night. The last creature was seen at 4:45 a.m. The siege had ended by sunrise. Later that day, Andrew Bud Ledwith, engineer and announcer at radio station WHOP, sensed a whopper of a story out on Sutton Farm. "I'm going to talk to these folks," he said, interviewing the 7 adult witnesses in 3 isolated groups. Ledwith received and rendered a remarkable consistency of description. Ledwith believed the witnesses, unlike most reporters. The wild account was partially corroborated by a neighbor who had seen strange lights moving on the Sutton spread, adding, "I'm glad I didn't go out there. I might have been shot." Seeking neither profit nor publicity, the witnesses endured a second siege of more mundane entities who variously blamed the encounter on booze, insanity, religious hysteria, or fugitive monkeys. Before refusing to discuss it any further, they insisted that no more than 2 creatures were ever seen simultaneously, and while the humans were admittedly quick to shoot, they also admit that the entities never attacked or demonstrated any hostility of any kind. At most, they displayed an extremely persistent curiosity in the face of severe rejection. And so we can only wonder, how the encounter, surely an event occurring but once in a Kentucky blue moon, was viewed from the other side.